Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? We're Wednesday. I'm so glad to be back and presenting a wonderful topic for the end of the new year. At the end of the year into new year, some tips and tricks to survive the next couple weeks here, because I know there's going to be holiday parties left and right. So thank you all for coming live. I just want to get a note from the audience. If you guys can hear me okay, just either message here or like anything in here. And then also let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I am in sunny today, Austin, Texas. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ale Zozos. I'm a registered dietitian. I am with also YouFit's in-house dietitian. So you'll see me in the Facebook group. You'll see me on some other social media platforms going into the new year as well, knowing that YouFit has an in-house nutrition program. So before we jump in today, I just have a poll to run with all of you to see if you knew that YouFit has an in-house nutrition program. And we'll start there. Couple yeses, couple no's. No surprise there. Quite a big organization. So just to fill you guys in a little bit, I will be talking a little bit more about what EatLove can do for you. It is included and complimentary as part of your Premium Plus membership. So everyone that has Premium Plus for their YouFit membership will have EatLove automatically included in that. And I believe that you get access by going to the app, and there is a section in YouFit where you'll see the EatLove tile. You click on that, put in your email, and you'll be sent an invite to walk through the onboarding process. So a couple yeses, some no's, but without further ado, let's dive into our topic of the day, which is holiday survival and the new year mindset. I absolutely love this topic. I think, and I always say this anytime I present a topic like this, is that if you can, I don't want to even say survive the holidays, but if you can make lifestyle changes during this time of the year, you are going to be set up for success for the rest of your life. You're going to use those tools and the ways that you were able to do this mindfully and in a healthful, good relationship with food that you'll be able to do any time of the year. Insert your vacation, insert summer, insert whatever. If you can do it now, you can do it forever and whenever you want for the years to come. So let's talk about our discussion today. We're going to talk about the dietitian secrets to survival with a healthy holiday in mind. We'll set up your New Year's resolution. So we'll talk a little bit about how to set resolutions, what not to do when setting resolutions so that you can gauge your progress at every step. And that is the third point for today. And then tips to find the perfect holiday side dish for your feast. If you have EatLove access already, this will be a really great opportunity to pull from some of our database, which has about 7,000 dietitian approved recipes. So let's start with dietitian secrets. And as always, we keep these really casual up. So anyone that watching today, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to list them in the chat box. I'm sure we'll have some time to review that today. So dietitian secrets, first and foremost during the holiday season, don't restrict yourself. You want to include foods that you love in your meals, because the opposite, if you're trying to avoid certain foods that you know you really enjoy, that you don't get a whole lot during the rest of the year, but you do get them now, that avoidance of that food is going to start the cycle that I call the restrict, binge, guilt cycle. And it's like this hamster wheel that you can never get off of. Your favorite foods are never going to be not accessible to you. We live in a world that we can order whatever type of food we want at 2 a.m. for the most part. I know when I lived in New York, I was doing that a lot. And there are so many different delicious cuisines to choose from. So anything I wanted in the moment, I had access to at any time of the year. So same thing for the holidays. Don't avoid those foods. When you avoid those foods, that cycle starts to begin and you don't feel like you have control over it. You know, letting the food kind of have that power. So when you get that food again, it's harder to control your natural reactions, which may be to overeat it. And then of course, to feel guilty after. But if you allow it in moderation and you have this positive outlook on that food, you know, you're allowed to have anything you want. There's no one telling you that you can't have foods. And if you're telling yourself you can't have foods, you're going to want it more. It happens all the time. And I'm a firm believer that if you allow things in moderation and you have a positive outlook on that food and just food relationship in general, you're going to see your results a lot faster. Portion control matters. So this goes back to don't restrict yourself. Moderation is key. Everything in moderation, including moderation. So you don't want to overdo things. So be aware of how much you're eating. If you're not sure what that serving size looks like, the nutrition facts label may not be the best marker to get follow, but it might be a good place to get started. What I mean by that is portion and serving size is different. Serving size is on the nutrition facts label, and that is a standard universal uniform that you can compare similar foods together. But that doesn't mean that you can only have what is listed on the label as a serving size. Just know that if you have more than one serving size, is to multiply that serving size by however much you have, 1.5, 2, 2.5, whatever that portion looks like for you, that is going to be individualized. But be aware of how much you're eating to start and see if there's any room to cut back on the energy that way. Plan in advance is one of my favorite things to do for the holidays, because raise your hand if you are going to 3+ events, houses during the weekend. We all, this holiday season is the weekend this year. And I know that we would have all loved that extra day off just to have a shortened week, but we're going to be packing in so much during that weekend. All good things, I'm sure, but may have multiple different family members and friends' houses to hit to enjoy. So you want to plan in advance. And I talk about this a lot with Thanksgiving too, especially if you have more houses to hit for Thanksgiving, is you obviously can't have a Thanksgiving feast at 4 different houses. You're going to feel very uncomfortable throughout the rest of that day. So it's to space out and portion control what you're doing. So if you know that you're going to somewhere for breakfast and they're going to be serving breakfast foods, you would follow the pattern of breakfast, of a snack, of a lunch at the next stop, and eat the things in moderation. Of course, 1 day, 2 days, it's not going to make a difference on our health goals at the end of the day, but that consistent overeating, the consistent not being mindful of our situation during the holiday season, it can get away from us really quickly. So plan in advance, decide what you're going to eat and how much before the big day. Even better if you can segment the stops and who's doing what. I know I have a morning house already. I have an afternoon house already, and I may have an evening house. So I'm already starting to think about how this is going to work in terms of my eating schedule that day. But just that planning in advance is going to help relieve some of the stress around the holiday season so that you don't feel out of control around those choices. And then remember that everything does count, especially if you're working to reduce your energy intake or be a little bit more mindful. There is a tool that I like to use called the Hunger Fullness Scale. And it's the basic principle is that if you wait until you are, 1 on the scale means that you are like overly hungry, you're shaky, you're nauseous. Number 10 is that you're way past Thanksgiving full. So you want to live within the middle ranges of that scale. You never want to wait till 1, because if you wait till 1, you'll probably be a number 10 more often. But anywhere from like a 3 to 6, 3 to 7 range is a really great way to be mindful and bringing awareness to your food choices, knowing that everything counts: cocktails, appetizers, desserts. So if you want to plan making room for your, the big meal, still making sure that you are eating within this framework, that you're not feeling overly full at any one point in time. So additional tips that I have for the holidays is don't skip breakfast. Don't skip any meals. Saving up your calories for that big event is the worst way to do it. Like I said, you're going to be a number 1 on that scale. You're going to eat to a 10. You're going to feel very uncomfortable about it. So have a solid breakfast. You'll be less likely to overindulge. You won't be starving all day. And even better, if you can incorporate some protein and fiber to help you feel fuller longer. Eggs are a really great choice. Greek yogurt's a really great choice to get a lot of good whole food protein at your breakfast. Even better if you can throw some vegetables in that omelet. If you want to top it with, if you want to have some fiber, have a piece of fruit on the side. That'll give you a good bit of fiber as well. Be mindful of your choices. Wait at least 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes before grabbing more of your favorites. I don't want you to avoid those foods like we talked about earlier, but be mindful of it. Sometimes it's easier to go in with a smaller plate if you just want, something you're not tempted to fill up the entire plate if it's like a large dinner plate. So appetizer plates to go in for a second portion, getting the one thing that you really want and that you have room for and that you feel comfortable making that decision. So make that second plate of food to go even better. I know my family leaves with a whole bunch of doggy bags. You have Tupperware, my mom brings out this gigantic Tupperware full of Tupperware. It's probably like a flat, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a flat Tupperware. And inside of it is just, old Tupperware, things that she's collected over the years. And all of that food gets distributed across the families. So we have tons to enjoy it the next day. We don't have to get everything day one. I use this for a dessert as an example. For Thanksgiving, I usually save that pie for my breakfast the next day. I do not worry that I'm not going to get pie that day because I get it the next day. It's there, it's available, and I know that it's happening. So I'm not going to overfill that time, just that environment, knowing that I'll have it tomorrow. Choose your favorites. Skip the foods that you can eat all the time. Instead, pick the ones that you only see once a year. I love this stuff for green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, all of those foods that are very much holiday focused, based, on seasonal produce as well. You're going to see those because of the time of year. That's why they're really big at these holidays. But it's not really something that I'm going to see out and about on a regular Thursday in the summer. So I want to get those favorite foods in for the holiday season. And then, of course, go in with vegetables first. There will be a vegetable at your holiday, whether it's just a side salad. There could be a nice winter kale salad. Green bean almondine is one of my favorite dishes. I make it all the time, year round anyways. Produce doesn't matter in season because I will make it all the time. But going in and filling that plate half with vegetables first, if you're not confident that you're going to see a vegetable at that dish, volunteer to bring one yourself or ask the host about ways that you can bring a dish like that, because every single holiday party I've been to has at least one vegetable, depending on what it is. And sometimes they're more nutrient dense than others, but it's great to get that non-starchy option just to kind of cleanse my palate before I eat something a little bit heavier. Hi, Louisa. So let's talk about the New Year's and setting your plan up for success. So New Year's resolutions, new goal setting is just kind of the way of the landscape that things kind of play out now. But there's a really wrong way to go about this. So I want to set some tips in place for everyone watching today to see if this will help you in the new year. So setting up your New Year's resolutions for success, first and foremost, limit your resolutions and pick a resolution that is obtainable, not something that you've probably tried to do every year for the last 10 to 15 years. If you're nowhere closer to that, the resolution is too far out of reach, or you're lacking some of the following steps, like setting SMART goals, planning for setbacks, keeping your goals in sight. But pick one resolution, take that resolution and break it up into SMART goals. I'm going to use the weight loss example because it's typically one of the most popular in the new year, and there's a lot of ways to add SMART goals to go with weight loss. So my resolution, let's say I have a resolution of losing 10 pounds in the new year. If I just say like that is my goal for the new year, but I don't have a plan in place to achieve it, I don't have a plan for setbacks, I know that this will be on my mind 24/7 for 4 weeks, and then I kind of forget about it, and I just punish myself because I've forgotten about it, and I'm not making mindful decisions and not celebrating my success. It's going to fall off very quickly. So if your resolution is to lose 10 pounds in the new year, setting your SMART goals up that go under this, that is your umbrella goal. What do your SMART goals look like? Your SMART goals are going to look like, and we'll talk more about SMART goals on the next slide, but they're going to be actionable. They're going to be realistic, and you're going to be able to replicate it multiple times over. These are the barriers to your weight loss challenge. So what is the reason right now that you are having trouble losing weight? Is it 1, lack of sleep, 2, lack of planning, 3, waiting till you're number 1 on that hunger fullness scale and overindulging more often than not? Is it that you're not getting enough movement? It could be a mix of all of those, but those are your SMART goals that are going to go into your resolution. So let's start with 1 or 2 to get started with. It could be movement and sleep. Set a sleep schedule. Get 3 days of walks in after you eat dinner during the week. They're very manageable. They're not overwhelming, and you're going to attack them. You're going to attack them little by little. It's not, well, I have 5 reasons why I can't lose weight and I'm going to attack them all tomorrow. Then not the best way to go about it, because it's too much too soon. And I'll show you an example of what it looks like, even if we're just reducing our added sugar intake. It can take months to do that, and that's okay. It didn't become a habit overnight. We don't expect it to not be a habit tomorrow as well. Planning for setbacks, celebrate goals, and keep your goals in sight. So let's talk a little bit more about these. Limit your resolutions. Don't overwhelm yourself. reflect on the goals that are most important to you. These could be the ones that you've been trying to do year after year, but haven't been able to stick to it. So don't do any more than 3 of them. And you could even break these up by the year quarter as well. So Q1, Q2, Q3, you're going to focus on a bigger resolution. Like I said, you can usually get away with one resolution and just create multiple SMART goals under it, as you'll see on this side over here. So the SMART goals on this side: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. It's an acronym, and that's exactly what we're going to follow. Example number 1 is that you're going to plan to cook 3 dinners at home next week. Maybe this is in replacement of ordering dinner out that you usually do. So if you're cooking meals at home, you obviously are going to be getting better nutrients. You're going to be more in control of what's actually in that food. And that could be a really great goal to get started with that helps you on your weight loss journey. Example number 2, I plan to add 20 minutes of walking after dinner 2 days this week for the next 2 weeks. Very timely. We have a 2-week marker on here, 2 days for next week for 2 weeks at 20 minutes. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable because it's not 5 days a week or 7 days a week if you're not doing any walking now, realistic and timely. Planning for setbacks, I think, is where a lot of us fall off the proverbial wagon with these goals, is not planning for that. We're never going to be perfect. These goals will never go as planned. So understanding and anticipating the possible barriers and challenges that get in the way, you're going to be one step ahead of that and you're going to know how to handle it. So create a plan to deal with those triggers. They're going to happen. That's life. Example is temptation. When you're going out to dinner, look at the menu earlier in the day and choose what you order when you're in the positive frame of mind. Now, when you get to the restaurant, you're feeling that order anxiety. I know the waiter comes and you're like, I don't know. And then you just pick something random without any real thought to it. And then at the end, you're like, why did I do that? I could have done this so much better. Give yourself the time to map out what you want to have so you know it's going to be a positive trend for your goals. And then keep your goals in sight. Don't forget about them. Don't allow them to become out of sight, out of mind. Write down post resolutions where they'll stand out. So example is computer screen or the bathroom mirror. You can put those right on Post-its. Another really great way to do that. But they're like your mini affirmations. Set your goal, look at your goal. I like to put Post-its next to my light switch in the morning because it's usually what I'm turning on and off my fan in my bedroom. And that works really well for me. Maybe it's by your toothbrush in the morning. Maybe it is in the corner of your mirror with a mirror-friendly marker. Don't use any permanent markers in there, but able to write down your affirmations and your goal setting for the day, even journaling in the morning what your goals are going to look like as the day progresses so that you can always keep it in the forefront of your mind in a positive light. Another thing I like to do is to set reminders on my phone, whether it's just tasks that I need to do or scheduling it in your calendar, your self-care time, whatever that self-care time is, but it's scheduled like any other appointment that you have. We're all busy. That's no secret. I think, we're always just go, go, go. But if you're scheduling the time and making it a priority for yourself, you're more likely to carry out that task. So last one is to celebrate your success. Of course, if you have a very big overarching goal, like a weight loss of 10 pounds, it's not going to be an overnight shift. It could take a couple months. It could take, the slower and more gradual your weight loss is, the more likely you are to maintain that long term. So it really shouldn't be an overnight change or even a week-to-week change or even a month change. I would say 2 months at the minimum if you're really, really focusing hard. But I think 3 months is probably going to be more realistic for most of us out there because the shorter time frame is usually related to more drastic measures, a higher calorie deficit, more aggressive workouts. Those 2 things can affect your sleep schedule. If you're not sleeping, you're not going to be focused. It's a whole thing. So give yourself the space and grace to give yourself time. But remember that while you're creating these new habits and changing old ones, it's not an easy switch. So celebrate that along the way. Maybe you have a goal of, and I'm a huge fan of non-scale victories, so I wouldn't even put a weight loss win goal on it. Like, I lost 2 pounds this week. I'm going to buy a new pair of running shoes. I don't love goals that are outcome related to weight loss. I like non-scale victories. I got up 3 times this week, 30 minutes before I was supposed to sit down at my desk, and I journaled for 30 minutes. And that put me in a better frame of mind. Or I was able to, spend 3 days walking after work. And that put me in a better frame of mind. Just those miniature habits help you lose weight overall. Weight loss is usually one of the just easier examples to kind of talk this through to make it more palpable when you are planning your own success goals. Choose something meaningful and rewarding that will help you move towards those goals. So like a massage to assist muscle recovery, or a new blender to for your favorite smoothie recipes. So I love both of these examples as a self-care. Celebrate your win as you are on that journey, because this is what that journey can look like. It is a milestone. So I'm using the example here of drink less added sugars. So we have to map out those milestones, and you can see March, June, September. This is not an overnight thing that you just decided, I am not going to have my regular Pepsi or cola anymore. There's a lot of thought that goes into this and a lot of undoing old habits that have to change. So we know it's not going to happen overnight. Steps towards our resolutions should be marked by milestones that can be reached throughout the year. And this one's going to take almost 2 full quarters to do. So in March, we're going to drink soda only 3 times per week. Maybe that's cutting back from every day. So that in itself is a very big goal. It's attainable, but a very big goal in itself, because 4 of those days we're going to say, we're not going to drink these anymore. In June, we take our coffee order down to 1 pump of caramel sauce in your coffee. One mini step towards your goals here. But if you're getting a Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts coffee 4 times a week, and you have 3 pumps usually, and you get it down to 1, that's a huge amount of added sugar that has now removed itself from your daily intake. So weight loss goals, energy goals, inflammation, sleeping better, all of those things are going to benefit from this one action here. And then in September, we're adding water to this. Of course, we have water all the time, but drinking 64 ounces of water a day and only 1 sugar sweetened beverage a week. So we went from 3 times per week to 1 time a week. And it took us a pretty long time to get there, and that's okay. We kind of have to wean ourselves off of it little by little. But knowing that it's going to take time, whatever resolution or goal that you have for yourself in the new year. So last thing I want to talk about today is finding your perfect holiday side dish. So anyone that has EatLove access, you have the pool and database of 7,000 dietitian approved recipes. These are a really great way to just wow your guests this season, try something new. So when I do flip over and share my screen for the last 5 minutes we have today, I'll show you some of the ways that you can search for that. But for those of you unfamiliar with EatLove, actually just kidding, if you're not in our Facebook group already, you can use the QR code. So you can take your phone here, scan the QR code, and it will open up our Facebook group, and you'll be a member of that to see new features and rollouts that we do from time to time, and a way to ask questions. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled EatLove content. EatLove is personalized nutrition for making both meals at home and dining out. Think of it as a dietitian in your pocket that's going to help you eat at every eating occasion. Recipes, restaurants, ready-made meals and meal kits. So every single eating opportunity, you're going to have guidance in your back pocket that guides you to make a smarter choice based on your nutrition and health goals. We can tell you what to eat, of course, but that's not what the goal is. We want you to take control of this adaptive meal plan planning system to put in your flair of what you're looking for in your food with a guide rail, essentially. We're going to help you make those choices confidently. It's science-based, nutrition intelligent, and we're not healthifying recipes. These are regular foods that you will see at the grocery store. Maybe we'll help you expand your palate a little bit, but we're not going to be healthifying these foods. It's just regular, good, wholesome food that you've probably had before. So I'm going to share my screen just briefly today, because I know I don't want to keep you all too long. Many of you are probably joining at lunch. So I logged in here to my test client. We do have an app. So if you are part of the Premium Plus membership, you do have access to this already. Just check out the YouFit app, click on the EatLove tile, and you will open up the actual app that looks like a Spotify playlist of meals. And you can do anything you want to these. So this is my lunch slated for today. Of course, I would have already done the grocery shopping to know that this is my lunch. So there is a level of planning that goes into this, so you know that you're making choices confidently throughout the week. But let's say I want something else, I could choose within a smart choice, and I have all of these options of bento box meals. I love this salad; it's actually really good. This Mediterranean Power Bowl. Any of these are going to fit my nutrition prescription, and I can add that in here, and it fits. Alternatively, if I was out and about on the go and I needed something at a restaurant meal, think of your 75 most popular restaurant chains. We're going to give you smart choices based on that. So you can see those in here. Let's say I choose this one, and that is my lunch now. You can see the week at a glance right here. You can clear meals. You can add your own meals. If I scroll up here and I want to add my own dishes, I have a lot of meals scheduled. If I want to add my own, I can do that. And if I want to repeat the dish, I can. Make lunch or breakfast very easy. I use EatLove every Saturday when I'm planning my meals for the week. I plan for 5 dishes. In all of my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all together is 5 meals. That's it. You do not need a lot to make these. It's really wonderful and a way to plan. And let's say that you've added a couple to your grocery cart because you want to do your grocery shopping. You can see the grocery list as populated here. You can see what the quantity is needed for each one. You can make adjustments to that if you need to. And you can check off the list as you already have it. Additionally, you can add a la carte items if you would like, and then you can buy online through one of our third-party integrations, Amazon Fresh, Walmart, or Instacart. These are the top 6. It's not all Instacart locations. I think I did my area the other day, and I was getting Sprouts. So it really depends on your zip code that you put in, but you can do that, finalize the list, and send it out. Additionally, here is our recipe database. I wanted to show you just how awesome you could search for holiday meals, depending on the ingredient. So if I want something with cranberries in it, because that's in season, I could search for cranberries, and I can see I have 227 results. This cranberry kale salad I mentioned, bringing a side salad to your holidays, this is a fabulous option for that. It's very in season, super delicious, has a homemade vinaigrette to it, so you can wow your guests with this lovely green salad. You could also do like a sweet potato search. Spell sweet potato correctly. And you can see all of these options: sweet potato with coconut, sweet potato casserole. There you go. This is also a really great dish for the holiday season. Actually, fun fact, sweet potato, maybe not a sweet potato casserole, but sweet potatoes in general, they're probably the most nutrient dense food you can find at the holiday season. So that takes the winner for my recommendations for that. If you are someone that likes to log your food and it's pre-logged in your planner, you would just say that you ate all of this. And then at the top bar up here, it'll tell you where you're meeting your goals, if you're over or under certain things, and then you can make decisions based on that. We have a water tracker, weight tracker, exercise tracker. So think of EatLove as the dietitian in your pocket for any time of the day, for any eating occasion. So I want to come back in here and see if you guys have any questions that you have leading into the holidays. I'm happy to answer those now. And I hope to see you guys in the Facebook group soon. We're going to be doing a lot of great things in the new year, talking about busting nutrition myths. We'll talk about relevant nutrition info. So this time of year, it'll be holiday related. Simple nutrition facts, also holiday related. So stay tuned for some of those coming your way. But if I don't have any questions, I will let you all go. We're right at the middle of 12:30 right now. So if you guys have any questions about EatLove in general, you can email our support line at support@eatlove.is, and that will get you to our team. If you have any questions about getting started or upgrading your membership to Premium Plus, I encourage you to check out your home gym location to learn more about us. But I hope you all have a great holiday season, and let us know if you have any questions. Bye. Thanks, Angie.